Dude, I don't want to do what I'm about to do.
Yeah, I know. This number 4 is going to shake a lot of people up, I think.
I think people are just going to check out after I said it. We're like,
but you shouldn't check out because the top 3 is going to get even more interesting.
The top 3 are heavy hitters. This one is kind of controversial, but...
It's very well, what's controversial is not that he's on the list. It's just where they are on the list.
You don't really agree with me on this.
No, I don't. I don't agree with you at all. That's a good way to start.
Should I just start right there?
Yeah, sure. Welcome back to the Fishing After Dark podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, welcome to this juicy episode. And man, when I tell you it's juicy, this is how juicy it is. For those of you who can see the show, I'm holding a notepad.
Oh, no.
And if I'm holding a notepad, then...
I'm getting fired.
For the 3rd time this month. No, when I have a notepad like this, that means I have some very important things to say, and we'll actually be passing it possibly back and forth because you may have some important things to say from this list too. But yeah, welcome back to our first podcast since the Florida send.
Yeah,
and by now, people most certainly would have seen some of our Florida content on both of our channels. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there's a ton to dive into with that. I'm not sure how much we're going to talk about that trip because the overall topic we have today is just so freaking juicy. I mean, it's its own podcast, really.
It is.
Fourth round of COVID. I'm sorry. But before we go any further, remember, guys, this podcast is brought to you by shopcarls.com. But today we have a very special offer on a mystery tackle box subscription that's provided by them for you guys. You guys are the only people on planet Earth that have access to this deal. So keep on watching. We'll explain what the deal is further on in the podcast. But Mystery Tackle Box is exactly what it's called. It's a mystery. Every single month it gets mailed to your house. It has a bunch of fishing lures. It's a great product. Me and Badge have been using it for years combined between the two of us. And it's always fun to unbox those bad boys. But how are you doing since we got back from Florida, man? Because I was kind of sick when we left, but how are you feeling?
I'm not great, man.
Oh, you're sick now.
Last month, it was one of the most successful months of my life.
That's true, yeah. You had some bangers going off.
I made more money in a month than I've ever made.
Nice.
Which was really cool. And
hopefully you'll be able to say that again many more times over the next couple of years.
Yeah, man. And we got to go on like a trip collabing, and I had a lot of good stuff going.
Yeah.
And my wife's in really good shape, and I was just feeling great. And I got up this morning, and I looked in the mirror.
And you just knew.
I was like, dang it.
We always joke about that. When things are going too well, the universe has a way to adjust you.
Right.
And to, like, you don't get too high, you don't get too low. It's kind of, yeah. That happened to me on the trip. Like, we were super high the first couple of days because we had just done incredible things that most people never get to do. And then my throat started to seize up on me. I got like, I don't know what I had. It could have been strep throat. It could have been just really bad sinus drainage. But I couldn't even talk or swallow like food.
Yeah.
You remember, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like when I would speak, I'd be like, yeah. Like I'd have to like clench my neck up. Yeah.
You came home a skeleton, man. You lost like 20 pounds. I came home.
Eat the last 2 days.
Good gracious. My freaking... What used to be perky little pecs were just little icicles hanging off my chest.
Oh, God.
It's not good,
That's a hell of a mental image right there. Before we go any further, guys, I got some reviews. If you guys didn't know, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can actually leave a 5-star review, and you can write a review. And if you do, we might just read them on the air. You're going to get a kick. I actually picked 2 out of 3 today that you're really going to get a kick out of. So,
come on, roast me.
Well, no, it's not that. So this username is Fat Sally 420.
Let's go. Oh,
yeah, 420. I think people have really like taken that whole 420 PPs thing, and now they're just like, it's kind of like a low key roast of that one guy. So now everybody's like using it as their username and stuff.
I hope so.
Because there's no way this is him. He says, "Love the pod, man. Keep up the hard work," with a little fishing emoji. But I just saw Fat Sally 420. I was
That's
like,
funny.
yeah,
let's go.
All right, next up, we've got Spring River Fisher. He says, "Love the podcast. I've listened to everyone multiple times. Keep up the grind, boys."
Let's go.
Thank you, Spring River Fisher. And finally, this is another one that you'll get a good laugh out of. His username is Beardless Lojo, which I really like.
Okay.
"Your podcasts are sick. Podcast is hilarious, and Badge for sure is the reason I listen.
Hey.
Nothing against Lojo, but Badge has a goofiness about him that nobody can replicate. Keep it up, guys."
Thanks, man.
So you've got your own fans now.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that day would come when you first started working for me, and you knew that you had like YouTube aspirations? But did you ever think like that all this would happen, and then you would have literally your own fans? Like people probably don't even like me, but listen to the show because of you.
It's wild, dude. I can't wrap my mind around it. Am I breathing a lot?
No, I just feel like my mic is weird. We did like an on-location podcast in Florida while we were there, so ever since then our equipment's been kind of squigged because we basically had to break the set down and move it to Florida, and then now we've had to reset it back up. When you do that, the equipment's never exactly right how you had it before. Something's weird, man. I don't know. It sounds weird to me. Maybe my ears are just finally not clogged.
Yeah.
So I can hear things that normally I wasn't hearing.
I think that's what it is, really.
It could be. I don't know, but. Well, I mean, do we want to talk about Florida at all, or do we just want to dive into this? Because we could probably dive into this.
I'd say we dive in because we kind of discussed Florida already.
We did. The last podcast, we vaguely discussed. We didn't talk about anything specifically because we didn't want to ruin any videos that were coming out.
Exactly.
And even now, we don't know when this podcast goes live. We may not have put all of our videos out from Florida.
True.
Because we got quite a bit of content. So let's dive right into this. So obviously, you guys know title and thumbnail. You know what we're talking about today. We're talking about ranking, me and Badge ranking the top 10 fishing YouTubers. Okay, now that's very important in this whole thing, and we're gonna talk more about everything. Like we've got some criteria to follow here. I've got about 20-25 YouTube fishing channels that we've compiled, that maybe even more than might be like 30 or 35 on this list, but we've compiled a list of like everybody who's relevant, basically. We might be omitting some people. Let's go ahead and apologize in advance if we omitted your favorite random YouTube fisherman. Like there's a guy in Australia that like catches sharks and does catch and cooks. I don't know his name because
Youngbloods?
Is that what it is?
Dude, I'm such a big fan. Does he spearfish too?
Should I add him to the list?
He's one of my favorites, man.
How many subs does he have?
He's millions, man.
Okay, well, just Youngbloods?
Yeah, that's all you need
I'll
to
put him
know.
on the list. I mean, so like I said, there's going to be some omissions because we're just human beings and we're not going to remember every single person. That's kind of the point of this, is we want to narrow down. Let's just say, how many YouTube fishing channels, and I'm talking about ever, not necessarily currently now, how many do you think have been true, like influential, important channels that people have cared about, like all time? How many? 20, 30, 50, 100? What do you think? Because I've got a number in my mind that I think like it's no more than that, but I want to hear what you think.
I don't think it's more than 20 or 30. I think it's...
I was going to say 50. Like that's like all time. That's like people who were really big 4 years ago and now they've fallen off.
There's more than I realize, but I feel like it's fishing is such a tight niche that there's not a lot.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I mean, and obviously, you know, we've got... I don't know. We're going to dive into all the channels, but I think on this list I have almost every channel that has ever really like mattered to millions of people, or like a channel that's just changed the game, or blah 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 blah. I mean, yeah. So, how do we want to start this, man? Because I think what me and you talked about was we were going to take this list and me and you were going to think about it. And we were going to have a top 10, all right? And we're going to start with number 10. But I also think we need to have some honorable mentions, too. Like people that didn't make the top 10, but we should mention their name because they did enough to be mentioned.
Well, tell me this first before we rattle out number 10. Let's let the people at home know how we're ranking
criteria.
These.
Yes, good call. So we wanted to keep it as simple as possible because we don't want it to be boring. We want this to be kind of exciting, and we want it to be real. We don't want it to be like fake or contrived or anything. So we decided 3 levels of criteria here. Okay, so level number 1, staying power. And what that means is, you know, how long were you on YouTube? You know, how long have you been able to maintain your success on your channel? It wasn't just a one-hit wonder. It wasn't just like 1 year of viral videos and then you were gone. You know what I mean? So that's the first criteria, is staying power. Next criteria is influence. So that's not necessarily how long you were here. That's how much of an impact you made on the space. Yeah. You know, how much did you help change? Did you help evolve the fishing YouTube world? You know, did you help advance it to the next step? That would be criteria number 2. Criteria number 3 is where things get kind of hairy.
Oh dear.
Because number 3 is just pure likability.
Okay.
Now, why I say that is because there are channels that are very big, they're influential, they stood the test of time, but they may not be that likable.
Yeah.
Or they may not be liked by a lot of people.
Right.
You know, I can think of a couple channels off the top of my head who are really big.
Polarizing. Yeah.
Polarizing, that's right. So that means you almost have as many haters as you do people that like you.
Yeah.
So that's going to kind of factor in like overall likability, because that's part of it too. You know, does everybody like this person? Is this a channel that brings everybody together and they can all, like, I'll give you a good example. It's like John B. You know, like, to me, that seems like a guy, it would be hard to find haters. For John.
I don't. Yeah.
But then there's other channels that you could find them anywhere. You know what I mean? You could go into a store and be like, hey, who hates this guy? And everybody's just like, yeah, well, I hate him. And some people are like, oh, I love him. So,
like,
are we bleeping those or are we leaving them? I don't even know.
I'm bleeping that.
We got to make that a sound.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Jesus. He's not on this list, by the way, because he just, I don't know. He should be on the list. I don't know. People are like, who are they talking about?
Yeah. That's just
I freaking love it. All right. So, have you seen the list yet that I've compiled, or do you need to take a look?
Let me
Why don't you just take a look, because I kind of know who's on there.
Take a gander.
Because I made the list. Because what we need to do now, I think we need to start alternating our picks. Okay. We need to start with honorable mentions first. So let's find like 3 people on that list who are not going to make the top 10 for whatever reason, but we feel like we should give them an honorable mention because they almost made the top 10. One thing also should be said, we are excluding ourselves from this list. I mean, I'm obviously excluded. Badge is excluded. Not like we're saying we would have made the top 10, but we're just saying, to make this simple, let's remove ourselves from this conversation and move forward. So, do you have your first honorable mention? Somebody who you would not put in the top 10?
I would not put.
Oh, man, this is about to get real.
Frick me.
And look, guys, we're not hating on these people. This is an honorable mention on this list. That's a good thing. That means that you're basically in the top 15 of fishing YouTubers of all time in our eyes. So give me your first honorable mention, then I'll take it for the next one.
I'm going to say honorable mention for the Fish Whisperer.
Oh, Fish Whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys don't know Fish Whisperer, I'm going to cross him off the list so we don't forget. Fish Whisperer is a guy in Texas.
Yep.
And he's kind of known for like feeding his pet bass and stuff, right? And pet turtles and stuff.
Yeah, John actually collabed with him, I think.
Really?
I think I remember.
Hey, I think my mic's off, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, you can hear me. Dude, it's like fading in and out, man. Are you not hearing this?
No.
When we were just talking back and forth, I could not hear myself at all.
Your headphones are slightly unplugged.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going. Right. That was probably it. Okay, that was probably it. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. This is a live show, by God, okay?
Yeah, we're leaving it in.
So, okay, guy in Texas. So why is he an honorable mention and not on the list?
Well, I seem to remember him like putting out regular fishing videos a long time ago. And
I think he did at one time.
And then they swapped, and what truly went viral was his pet little freaking 10-pounders just eating shad off his chest and stuff.
And turtles.
Yeah.
That went super viral. I remember like one of the titles of the videos was like "Turtles Love Watermelons" or something.
And it was like millions, dude.
It was a 5-minute video of just him holding a piece of watermelon, and they just come up and like the ASMR.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, I watched it, so
I did too.
I was a victim. He got me.
Late at night.
So you're saying maybe he got excluded because it wasn't a pure fishing channel?
I don't think you would classify him as a fishing. There's like fishing, and then there's like pet fish, aquarium fish, stuff like that.
All right, so that's our first honorable mention, Fish Whisperer. That's a good call. I like that because I like him. I like his content.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make this list feel that authentic if we put him in the top 10 fishing YouTubers, because he's
a
not
fish
a fishing
trainer.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are fish related going on in his channel, but not necessarily fishing.
Right.
Let's see here. I'm looking at this list, man. It's going to be freaking tough.
It's going to be really hard.
When we start actually like going down the top 10, this is going to be, feelings might get hurt, but I hope people know, everybody on this list, you know, we got love for you, at least enough to write your name down on this list.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
No shade to be thrown. There's Fishing with Norms on this list too.
Is he?
I don't know where to put him. Because he's like our buddy, so it makes me feel bad if I don't know.
He was later to the game. He's the GOAT.
Well, he was right after me. I mean, he was
the fastest growing fishing YouTube channel right now. Did you know that?
Right now?
Yeah.
Really?
He's growing faster than anybody.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, he's caking.
May have to put him on the list.
On a Tuesday.
Okay. So my selection for honorable mention is none other than Fluke Master.
Yeah.
Old Fluke. Now, so here's why he's an honorable mention to me. Of course, this is going to go back and forth between me and Badge. We don't have to agree. So Fluke was an OG, like we just talked about. So he was there at the beginning of fishing YouTube.
Long time.
Catching fire. I'd say his influence was big, shaped a lot of fishermen's careers, shaped a lot of YouTube fishermen's careers.
Yeah.
He had a lot of knowledge, did a lot of tip videos, stuff like that. How-to video. I know I've watched a how-to video before of how to fish something or how to do something or how to fish, in the middle of summer in a kayak in a pond or whatever.
Yeah, when that was taken off, he was there. Right. He was there for it.
He was there. I would say what hurts him are like the staying power, because I feel like right now in the last few years, he's really kind of fallen off as far as being extremely relevant. That's the only thing. Like, he's relevant, but he's not extremely relevant.
No, I agree.
So I would say I would give him a thumbs up because he was there in the beginning and he helped shape. His influence was massive.
Yeah.
But, the staying power wasn't really there.
Yeah.
He didn't really. I feel like a lot of YouTubers that were with him took a big next step, and he never took that big next step.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
No, I agree.
I think that's the right way to word it. And I think he would be okay with that characterization. And I said, his influence is huge. So, there's no taking that away from him. But the staying power just wasn't there.
No, it's just facts, man. You can look at his channel and the progress that was made alongside with others. And
yeah. That happens to a lot of people, man. Taking that next step can be very difficult.
Yeah, could happen to us.
Yeah, exactly. After this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
All over.
I got one for you, man.
You're good? You ready?
I'm good.
Do you need the list?
I don't even need to see that gosh darn list.
Hit me with it. I feel like you're about to come with some heat.
I don't want to say it because I've met the guy once.
Look. This is not shade. This is not shade. This is saying that we rank you really high on our all-time list. That's all this is.
Honestly, I don't even think the guy would care anymore, but AP.
Okay. AP, Perrick.
Yeah.
Nice. Not even in the top 10,
even top 10.
Wow.
Look,
okay, explain yourself.
You want to talk about staying power. That man's gone.
He's
gone.
Yeah.
Like a ghost.
He won't even talk about Tesla stock with us on the podcast.
No, he won't.
He might one day. But
he probably
definitely won't now. But
here's the thing, though. That guy could probably put a video out at any moment, get 100,000 views.
That's true. Yeah.
So he does have the power.
And his influence was massive because he was part of the original Guggen Squad. So you can't take anybody out of the original Guggen Squad and say they didn't have massive influence, because as a whole, even if you break down their channels individually, he had some of the most. He's got some of the most epic moments on fishing YouTube ever.
He does.
Catching a giant smallmouth on lettuce. That whole thing with John when he freaked out. It was a 10-pounder.
Yep.
Like, those are iconic moments. Everybody knows about those.
That's the thing about AP. I will say is everybody knows AP. Like, he's just viral. I don't know. But
his likability might take a hit on that too if we're going down the criteria.
There's a lot of haters of AP.
Yeah, is he the most hated on Guggen Squad member? I think Lunkers has that title now.
I think
Perrick was a close second. Like, the person in the Guggen Squad who gets the most hate. I think that's a fair statement.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And don't get me wrong, when Perrick had like a little crew going and all, I watched all the stuff.
Yeah, when he had Sobe and Mav, and
it was cool, man.
That was well, that's when his channel was super viral. When he was doing those camping videos, like surviving in the woods, and that was doing that. He stayed on an island for a few days in like Lake Michigan or something crazy.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was some good content, man.
I enjoyed it.
All right, so dude, that's nice though, man. And now I can guarantee everybody listening and watching is now they got their ears wide open now, because eliminating a Guggen Squad member from the top 10 right off the gate, like that took some sack, my friends.
Yeah, that's how you lose a future sponsorship. Hard.
I love it, man. This is great. Okay, so we got our honorable mentions. We don't want to waste any more time. We want to dive right into this, and I guess we're just going to start ripping them off. We need to explain everyone as we do it, because we need to justify what we're saying, And once again, this is our opinion, so there's only a certain amount of justification that even needs to happen. We're allowed to have our opinion. This is our opinion. Coming in at number 10,
Ooh.
Bama Bass.
Okay.
What do you think of when you hear the word Bama Bass?
I think just shattering PBs.
Just top water madness.
That man catches more PBs than I brush my teeth.
I know, man. So Bama Bass, if you guys don't know, he's based out of Alabama, obviously, which is another reason why I love the channel, because I grew up in Florida, but I've lived in Alabama for the last 5-6 years. Basically, my YouTube career started when I moved to Alabama.
Okay.
So I've got nothing but love for Bama Bass. Yeah, man, he's had some of the most epic topwater strikes ever recorded on video.
It's incredible.
One in particular, you guys should go look it up. I'm not sure what it's called, but he's basically he's made his cast, he's worked his frog. You remember this?
Dude.
And he starts to reel it in really fast to make another cast, and a 9-pounder chases it and hits it right next to the boat.
It was incredible.
And better than the actual moment is his reaction. Do you remember what his reaction is?
It wasn't that crazy, was it?
He makes no noise at all. He does nothing. He just sets the hook, nothing, fights it, lands it, and I think he starts talking after he's landed the fish. I think he says like, wow, that was crazy. Because, you know, Bama Bass, he's super chill if you've never heard his voice. I don't know if I've ever really heard him get super excited.
Yeah.
He's just kind of a chill guy, I guess. I've actually spoken to him before. We actually talked about collabing once, like a while ago.
Really?
But it kind of fell through. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he lives, you know, like 3 hours from me in Alabama. We should try to make that happen, though.
We do need to make that happen.
And you see what he's got going on now, don't you?
Oh, my
his
gosh,
freaking
yeah.
5-acre lake.
Yeah, he's probably just stocking it with 12s.
Oh my God! Well, I don't even know if he's got water in it yet. But when he has it done, that needs to be like priority number one. Go fish that place in a couple years. So here's how I broke down Bama Bass real quick. So staying power. What else needs to be said? He's been on YouTube probably pushing 8 years.
Stood the test of time.
Stood the test of time. Was getting views back then. Was getting views in the meat of his career, and now he's back again building a 5-acre bass lake, getting hella views. So the staying power's there. Influence, I think, is his weakest attribute, because I'm not sure what that channel really helped to influence other than like topwater fishing. You know, it probably encouraged people to throw frogs more often, because that was a huge thing on the channel, was just fishing with different topwater lures. Him and his wife filmed content together. Liz, oh gosh, I just butchered her name. Freak. I can't remember her name. Now I feel like a piece of garbage.
Yeah,
I was going to say Liz, but I don't think that's right.
Well, let's stick with it.
I'm so sorry if I said your wife's name wrong, man. But he filmed content with his wife. That was kind of new at the time. People weren't really doing that.
The thing I will say about him, though, is he seems like your classic South Alabama dude.
Yeah.
Just nice.
Chill dude.
Really, like, just fits that description. I think that's what people liked, because he just seemed like a buddy. You know what I mean?
So his likability is just way up there.
Yeah.
He'd be another person that'd be hard to find haters for.
Oh, my gosh.
Because
dude, I
he
don't
just,
think you could.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about anything. He just freaking slaps donkeys. That's all he does.
Slaps
on
donkeys.
topwater primarily, which is just so fun and
Donk
so exciting.
slapper.
He's a donk slapper, man. Bama Bass coming in at number 10. Just trying to help you out.
No, I definitely need those claps. They help.
Yeah, you do. Need your cheeks clapped.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Speaking of cheek clapping, my man 618 coming in at number 9, dude. Can I leave that in?
No, I don't think so. We don't know him like that. If we knew him, if we knew that person,
Frick,
it would be
so
fun.
Classic, man. Whatever.
No, man, go for it. Oh, shit. Got my cap. Damn it. Fuck. All right, sorry.
Toss me that list, man. Toss
You
me
need
that
the list. Oh,
I gotta.
boy. That's never good if you need the list.
Okay.
I hope you guys appreciate how last minute this is. We've been talking about this topic for a long time, but to actually make the list, it's kind of intimidating, because you don't want to piss people off that you like and have respect for,
Or who you're trying to get to pay you.
or who you're trying to get to pay you. So I'm going to let you continue to slam Guggen Squad members the entire time, and I'm just going to pick everybody else.
Sweet.
So what do you got, man? Number 9. Who we got?
Number 9, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites right now, 618 Fishing.
Oh, 618.
618, man.
Fun fact, do you know his name? Because I don't.
I don't.
Well, we suck at this job. Yeah, 618 Fishing, though, dude. He's
He doesn't really say his name a lot, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure he said it, though. Don't you think? Oh, man. Lost my whole list. It's just gone. Well, let me explain yourself while I find this list, because it's just gone now.
Here's what I will say. 618 was kind of the newer generation of fishing, so I didn't want to put him in the top.
Well, I will say this. He's been around longer than you think. I just blew a snot rocket and Badge just lost it. I'm sorry, man. I've been sick.
I just didn't see it coming while we were indoors.
Sorry, man.
Well,
I thought we were on your camera, like close up on you, and
we
then
were.
you looked at me like I was crazy.
I couldn't hold it in. But I will say, in the short amount of time compared to some of the original GOATs, he has made like a monstrous impact.
Yeah.
The thumbnail impact.
Thumbnail game is on
Dude,
point.
People are I'm copying.
Yeah,
dude.
I think we've all taken a shot at copying those thumbnails. But, I think he's been around longer than you think, actually. He just wasn't doing this style of, like, spillway, dam, big piece chunks of bait on a hook. Like, he wasn't doing that. He actually did a lot of, like, micro lure stuff.
Okay.
He did a lot of, like...
I remember that.
A lot of thumbnails with, like, his finger and, like, the lure on the finger with a paw in the background. Like,
He's got a great finger.
He's got a good finger game. Man, this is just getting off the rails. So his staying power has been good. I think he's been around longer than you think. I think he's been around almost as long as I have. In fact, I think he has. But see, he's rebranded himself. So, like, let's go back to influence. That's one thing we should have said, is like being able to rebrand yourself. That's a really good quality in an entertainment business like we're in. Because my channel has kind of been rebranded a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
He's done an incredible job of rebranding his channel because, like you said, he's never been more popular than he is right this moment.
Yeah.
And that's saying something when you've been on the platform for a long time. It's like, that means you're trending upwards.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think I had caught him with subs. You know what I mean? I had passed him. I'd caught him. I passed him.
Okay.
This was like a year or two ago. I don't know when it was, but... He was somebody who I wanted to pass. Not anything against him. He'd set the bar. You know what I mean? And I want to like go up. But I think ever since I did, man, he's just gone on like a rampage. Yeah. He's like a low key hates me. He hates me, and I passed him, and that was all the motivation he needed.
Right.
He was
he's
like,
got
all
a
right.
little closet with a little human doll of you.
And he's just like, well, these spillway videos are gonna sink old Lojo now.
Yeah, you don't have it.
No, I don't have a spillway, so. Yeah, man, thumbnail game's good. Likability, once again, it'd be hard to find haters for 618 fishing.
I doubt he has any haters.
He probably has some thumbnail haters because there's, when you use a similar thumbnail a lot, I think that rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And he's not the only YouTuber that does that. There's a few that just use kind of the same thing over and over again. So, I mean, there's nothing against that. If you want to do it, that's fine. But that could draw a little bit of hate. So that's all I was going to say.
The thing is, though, even though he uses similar thumbnails and titles, his videos are made so
They're clean.
good.
They're clean.
They're clean.
That should have been another thing, is video quality. We didn't even think about that. His video quality is like top 5 probably.
Netflix. Yeah.
It's like so. Okay, so what's the main knock against him then? Why is he so low on the list? Just hasn't quite been that impactful. I don't think he's had a huge influence on the space.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
Seems like he's kind of like a lone survivor type deal.
Doesn't collaborate.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to get his brand out there to a ton of people.
Right.
Because, of course, he's got a huge audience, but...
Which I don't blame him.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. He has his own reasons, maybe, why he doesn't collaborate. I don't even know where he's located. Do you even know where he is in the country?
It's like, I want to say like the Midwest.
See, he looks like he's in the South to me.
You think he's in the South?
I don't know. Well, let's put the call out there. These guys get up with 618 and tell him to come collab with us because we love his stuff, but he's got to get out there more. Got to get more people.
Where's St. Louis?
St. Louis?
Yeah,
it's
where's
in Missouri. You think that's where he is?
I think he is.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm sure somebody will educate us in the comment section. There's probably some big 618 fishing fans that are upset right now. Hey, he made the list. I think that's a good accomplishment. So.
He's a guy. He's just, to be honest, he catches catfish, and
we're bass fishermen.
I like that bass, man.
So it's hard to rank him higher, but he checks a lot of boxes. So good job, 618, coming in at number 9.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Coming in at number 8, our good buddy who joined us on the podcast a few months ago.
Who? Which
Mr.
one?
Justin Rackley.
Oh,
LFG, Lake
LFG.
Fork guy, baby. So, all right, let's talk about Lake Fork guy. Let's talk about the good first. I always want to start off with the good. And once again, there's not a lot of bad to say about any of these people, but we have to explain why we rank them the way we do. So, he is one of the chillest guys I've ever met. He's also one of the best fishermen I've ever met on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, some people, we're not that good at fishermen, me and you.
Right.
But we have successful YouTube channels. That doesn't necessarily mean you're good at fishing. He's like a hammer. Yeah. He's a real fisherman. He can go out there and catch 20 pounds no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, he just seems like that type of guy.
And he loves it. You can tell.
He loves it. He never gets tired of fishing. So I mean, staying power, that kind of goes without saying. Do I have to say anything about staying power? I mean, he's been on YouTube forever. He's been relevant forever. So check that one off the list. His influence, once again, he was part of the Guggen Squad. He was not part of the original crew. So you could knock his influence a little bit, but he's been in the squad for a long time. He's, I mean, gosh, how many people has he taught how to fish something?
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean? And now we got like the Guggen Lab channel going, and he's just breaking down all the different Guggen products and how to fish them. And it's like, I was lucky enough to be able to go out on the boat with him one day and film one myself, but he's filming them all the time. I mean, he's teaching tons of people how to fish. He's an amazing fisherman, likability through the roof.
Yeah,
had brain cancer, beat that, you know.
What a tough son of a gun.
I mean, come on. Like, what else? What can you say bad about Rackley? I mean, the dude, I think everybody likes him. I think even people that have had beef with the Guggen Squad would have excluded him out of that beef. You know what I mean? They're just like, I have a problem with you guys, but not really Rackley.
Yeah.
You know, Rackley, just go step over there because I don't really have a problem with you. Yeah. What is your impression on Mr. Rackley?
I think he's one of the GOATs for sure. I think he's probably the best angler on YouTube.
He might be. He might be.
I think he is.
I mean, we love Mikey Balls. Mikey Balls, big shout out to Mikey Balls.
Yeah.
He's a freaking GOAT, can hammer bass.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else is like a real... Fluke Master he's a pretty good fisherman.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on Rackley's level. Because you got to remember, Rackley was on the tournament trail before he ever did YouTube.
Rackley's the kind of guy that you'll like watch this video, he'll like camp at the boat ramp so he can get in at like 3 in the morning.
Right.
Just to smell the fish.
Yeah, then he'll catch a crappie at midnight under the moon and eat it raw.
Right.
Roll some sushi out of some crappie and just eat it.
Won't film it. Just does it.
Just does it to do it.
Right.
Yeah, man. I'm struggling to even think about like what I would dock him on. I mean, me and you were talking off camera. You know, I don't think he's ever really had like viral videos. Like, I don't think it's so hard to think about something to knock on him. You know,
well,
I just don't even know.
I do get though that he's 8 because he's so chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like to go viral, you have to do something that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And he's not that guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be that guy.
He doesn't try to be anybody he's not. That's true.
Yeah. He has his core audience. He keeps them fed.
Yeah.
And does his thing.
That's the only knock against him is just he just never really, I don't even know how to say it. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to knock Rackley because plus we just love him. We have so much respect for him.
Right.
So I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave it out there and see what you guys think. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but please, guys, get in that comment section if you're on YouTube watching this, and you know, give us your top 10 list. You know, we'd love to hear. You know, there's going to be a ton of top 10 lists in the comment section. Yeah. It's going to be fun to go through and see. Yeah, so Rackley coming in at number 8. All right, guys, so I promised you I had a special word for Mystery Tackle Box, and I do. So we worked out a super exclusive deal just for you guys, podcast watchers and listeners for MTB. Check this out. If you click the link right in the top of the description, go to their website, and if you get a 12-month subscription of MTB, right, Mystery Tackle Boxes, and you use code AFTERDARK, all one word, it's like getting 4 of those boxes for free. So you're only paying for 8 boxes. I think it ends up being like a 22% discount or something like that. So really cool little deal they worked out just for you guys. It saves you like $70 or something. I mean, it's a great deal. A lot of you guys love this product anyways. Take advantage of it, guys. It helps support the podcast. Use code AFTERDARK. Go ahead and get that year subscription. Don't have to worry about the month-to-month thing. It's a great deal. Check it out. Now back to the show.
All right. Coming in number 7.
Who you got?
Now there's a realm in YouTube.
Oh, God. We're going down a realm?
Down one of these little rabbit trails you hit at about 2 a.m.
Okay, I'm into it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm into it.
3rd bag of Cheetos.
Oh, shoot. So you're talking like 2 a.m. just
snacking.
Going. Okay.
Ace Videos.
Ace Videos.
You don't really know this guy. I've talked to you about him before, and you've been like, "Who? I don't really know."
I put him on the list because I do know that he's extremely relevant. I just never watched one of his videos ever.
Well, he does catch and cooks, which is different than what we do. More like challenges, catch and release, tournaments.
But catch and cook's still fishing though, a fishing realm.
He does some like kayak fishing, some smallmouth fishing.
Okay.
He's just like an outdoorsman.
Yeah,
that's how I can describe him.
How many subscribers does he have? He's got a lot, right?
He's over 1 million.
Over 1 million. And his view, we looked at his like last 10 videos too, and he's freaking doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
And he's got like huge projects coming up too that we don't even know about, right?
Yeah,
He's been like
keeps
teasing
teasing
some big
something.
on the water projects. So you're more of an Ace Videos fan than I am. So
Yep.
I mean, I don't have much that I can even contribute to this. But I mean, so why would you rank him higher than like a Justin Rackley and LFG?
Well, first of all, just because Ace Videos started after these guys, and he's already bigger than them.
That's a good point.
You get what I'm saying?
That's a good point. So like the staying power is not huge because he just hasn't been around, but his influence and his
Right.
likability is obviously through the roof because he's been able to accomplish this level of success so quickly.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's going places. He's doing things. I have a big project that I'm keeping a secret right now.
You do. You have a
And
massive thing
I
coming.
think this son of a gun might have done the same thing.
It's okay though because your content's going to come out sooner, hopefully.
I hope. I'm rushing things.
We don't know if that's what it is,
No.
but it kind of seems like it might be.
I could
But-
be completely wrong.
But you want, in all fairness to you, you wanted to do this project before you knew he was doing it.
I've been
so.
planning it for like a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if he's doing it, I'm just rushing everything.
We're going to remove him from this list
Right.
if he does it.
You're going
You're
straight
off
to
the list,
11,
Ace.
buddy.
Is his name Ace or what? What is the deal? Like I don't know anything about this guy.
I think. Dude, come on, man. We got kids.
Bleep it.
All right.
All right, so Ace Videos is coming at number 7. I wish I could contribute more to that one. I just
You don't know him.
I know he gets hella views.
You know who I would like to do an honorable mention for alongside Ace? Is
We've got a lot of honorable mentions that we didn't do.
Fisherman's Life.
Oh, I've got it on the list.
Dude,
yeah.
he's kind of like
Yes,
equal
dude.
with Ace.
I think it's called A Fisherman's Life.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Fisherman's Life.
I don't know.
Either way, dude, massive catch and cook channel. Good point on that's actually. I could see how that would be comparable to Ace
Yeah.
Videos. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have him on the list right here. Yeah, that's a good. He's not going to make the top 5 because he's kind of spotty with his uploads. Like he'll go months without uploading sometimes.
Right.
But his videos are clean. His catch and cooks like crazy species. He's on like the West Coast, so there's all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy stuff in the Pacific Ocean.
Like
so
shooting halibut with a 9mm
yeah,
or
blasting
something.
a halibut in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had him on the list to potentially use, but that's another good honorable mention. We'll have more honorable mentions at the end as well, so stay tuned. Make sure you listen to all of this or watch all this because we're going to have a couple probably large honorable mentions at the end that didn't make the list that you guys might be shocked about. So, all right, number 7. We're making some headway here. This list is all starting to come together a little bit now, I think. All right, coming in at number 6. Also our good buddy who has joined the podcast in the past, old Robert Turkla.
Oh.
Old Lunkers TV.
6.
Yeah. A little low, I know, for
Okay.
some people, but let me explain. Okay.
All right.
Well, then let's just run through the regular criteria. I'm now that we're halfway through the list, I've thought about like 3 more items of criteria that we should have been using.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Keep it simple. Staying power, money, influence, off the charts, likability, good, but there are definitely he's got some haters, and that's because this all ties into why he's number 6 of some of his other videos. Mm-hmm. Now he started well. I'm not sure his original origins. I think it was in gaming, right?
Yep.
But let's just say his fishing origins. It was all bass fishing, just like us. And then, of course, Guggen Squad was formed. He was a very influential person in that. So, once again, the influence is probably, he might have the most influence of anybody on this list because I believe it was his original idea to make the Guggen Squad.
Oh, really?
So that vision, I mean, it may not have just been him, but I'm just saying, I think that's what I've heard is that he was a very big person to say, hey, let's get this group of guys together and let's start filming together. So all that's good, but his content, especially over the last few years, has started to kind of get away from fishing. It ebbs and flows, you know, like he'll be fishing
Yeah.
really hard and then he'll go like do a bunch of military videos.
Yeah.
Or he'll go back to fishing and then he'll do storage units for a while. Remember that whole
Right.
phase he went through?
Or he'll just go to Africa and shoot.
Or the hunting content,
A
which
bull.
hey, all this content's great, by the way, but it's not fishing. So if we had to dock him anything, that's the only thing we could really dock him is that his likability is probably not as high as somebody like John, like we said, because he does other types of content.
And he's very open about it.
And he's very open. He's very polarizing, like you said. Polarizing is a perfect word for Rob.
Which I kind of have respect for.
I love people who are brutally honest because nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Even me and you can't be brutally honest all the time.
I think that's
on our
why I have
videos.
respect for him.
Because he does. He is
Yeah.
brutal. He had that as him. People always ask me about like members of the Guggen Squad and how they are in real life versus video. Rob is exactly the same in real life as he is on his videos. 100%. That is him. But yeah, so his content now, right now, he's been fishing the tour for a long time. So he's back on the tour. He's been back on that heavy fishing grind lately. So, you know, that's the only thing. The only reason he didn't make the top 5 is because of everything I just said. The content has been a little inconsistent. It hasn't been all fishing, which we love about his channel, but it's not a primary fishing channel all the time.
Yeah, this is not top 10 outdoor channels.
That's right, exactly. Because if it was a top 10 outdoor channel, he might rank a little higher because he just does everything. You know, and I'm experimenting with hunting and some on my channel too, and I mean, it's great. It's amazing. But yeah, so number 6, we love him. We'd love to have him on the podcast again. Maybe we should get like everybody's reaction of where we rank them on the list.
Yeah, that would be funny.
If this podcast goes hard and everybody starts hearing about it, you know, I'm probably going to get some text messages like, hey, you son of a bitch, you ranked me number 6? Yeah, is that how we're going to do this? They all want to be ranked number 1.
Yeah. Who'd you vote for?
Yeah, who did you vote for? I'm just going to say, no, this was Badge's list, man.
I just made it up. He told me to not put you in.
He told me not to put you in the top 5. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, man, we're cruising right along, and next up is number 5. We're about to crack the top 5. This is when things are really going to get out of control.
Oh, I don't even need to see the list again, dude. I got it.
Oh, you don't need to look at the list. Oh my God. Okay, I'm scared now. Oh, let's also. This is also worth saying. The Guggen Squad channel, we're not using that as a channel.
No,
because that's a collaboration between other people's channels. Right. So, because obviously the Guggen Squad channel would rank very high too because it's got so many people that are on it. But we're not using that as a channel to be judged. So go right ahead, buddy.
Coming in number 5. My main man, Black Tip H.
Oh, Black Tip H. Man, okay. That's going to be a hard one to argue with right there.
Yeah. He could be, depending on what you like to watch.
Yeah.
If you're a saltwater angler, he's number 1.
Oh, yeah, he's number 1. I feel 100% confident saying he's the best saltwater channel that's ever existed.
100%.
I don't even think that's debatable.
Yeah.
Like, he's the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And to the person who doesn't fish at all and just likes watching fishing, he's probably number 1.
Might be.
But in my opinion,
has he ever bass fish on his channel? Does he ever freshwater fish?
I saw him catch like a donk on a balloon and a kite.
What?
I don't even know.
Of the bass. Largemouth?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He was doing all some wacky stuff.
Well, he's in Florida. You know as well as I do. These Florida people are just different, man.
Yeah.
They'll catch a giant bass with their thumb.
Yeah.
Just hang off the dock and just boom.
That voodoo.
Catch a freaking dark alligator or something. I don't even know. Okay. Yeah, Black Tip, man. So let's go down the criteria. He's been there forever. Staying power. He's got that. Influence. I'd say his influence...
He filmed with Dude Perfect, man.
Yeah, dude, go down the list. He's filmed with so many people. He takes professional athletes out.
Yeah.
He takes professional strongmen out, other huge YouTubers, Dude Perfect. I mean, go down the list. He's had every Guggen Squad member on his boat pretty much. I mean, the dude is just G'd up. I mean, he's swinging, dude. He's just swinging. Exactly. So it's an interesting pick because... when we say fishing YouTube, I know everybody's mind, or most people's mind, goes to bass fishing.
Right.
But this is not a bass fishing channel, although he does bass fish some. This is like Goliath grouper and shark. And I tell you what, he was really influential. He was filming in like 4K, like cinematic, before anybody ever was.
Lapel mics, all that. He has like a crew.
I can't remember anybody shooting that clean a video, and he would use drones in a way that people really didn't use that much either. Like, he was just, I feel like he was on the forefront of that super high quality video, that which once again could have been a criteria.
Yeah,
because if that's the case, I mean, his videos are so well made, so well shot, and just so well done. So it's an interesting pick by you. I like that though. I like coming kind of out of the gate. I mean, we've got Black Tip ranked ahead of Lunkers TV and Lake Fork Guy. Like, that's interesting. That's going to get some people talking.
Well,
but hey, man, this is our opinion. I freaking love this. I love this.
I'd die for this list.
I'd die for this list. I stand behind this list, even though we're just now making it live on the show.
Right. We'll change it in 2 hours.
Right. Yeah. Well, after we're done filming this, we'll be like, oh my God, that was the worst list we've ever made. But that's the beauty of this show.
Dude, I don't want to do what I'm about to do.
Yeah, I know. This number 4 is going to shake a lot of people up, I think.
I think people are just going to check out after I said it. We're like,
but you shouldn't check out because the top 3 is going to get even more interesting.
The top 3 are heavy hitters. This one is kind of controversial, but
it's very well, what's controversial is not that he's on the list; it's just where they are on the list.
You don't really agree with me on this.
No, I don't. I don't agree with you at all. But go ahead.
I'll freaking own it.
Yeah.
Number 4. There's a channel in Australia.
Okay.
Called Youngbloods.
Okay.
Dude, it goes so hard.
How many subs do they have?
I don't know.
Oh,
over a million.
I know they've got millions, I think. So.
It's just he has like the Australian accent, okay? And then he's out there swimming with like 12-foot sharks.
He's done some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge viewer of this channel, but one thing I do know is I saw them like next to a small creek in Australia where like creeks me and you have walked through before.
Yep.
But in Australia, creeks like that have like bull sharks. Right. You know? Right. So they caught like I guess it's legal there too to just catch sharks and eat them on the spot because he caught like a bull shark from the bank, and then they ate it. They catch and cooked right by the creek. I mean, it was insane. I just never seen somebody A, catch a shark out of a creek, and then B, catch and cook the damn thing right there over a campfire. And it looked actually pretty good.
I think the reason I put him where he is first of all, he's just, the content he makes is so different than anybody else in the world, really.
Yeah, in the fishing realm.
And then the second thing is the stuff he does, man. Like, he is putting himself in places that nobody else puts themselves, like in the water with 12-foot sharks.
He has a natural advantage because Australia is such a wild place that you know, you could be next to a life-threatening fish any moment. Which
I don't know if I do that though.
Yeah, I don't
content.
know if I would either. But if you grew up in Australia, then you're just built different. Yeah. It's like Central Florida on steroids. You know, you're just like, oh, an alligator. Yeah, cool. What's up, buddy? Go pet him on the nose. Just walk. You know, you're just different. You're used to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, boomstick. Just boomstick.
Bang sticking. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because I think, like you said, this might lose some people. The only beef I had was how high he was on the list because I could not put Youngbloods ahead of Lunkers TV and Blacktip H purely because I didn't know who he was. So to me, that tells me that his influence, although he may get millions of views, that doesn't necessarily mean your influence is super high or important. Because I'd only seen a couple of his videos. I never really saw him come to the United States and collab with anybody or like nobody go to him. Like, it just doesn't seem. I mean, he's doing great.
I agree.
Millions of views. I mean, that you can't shake a stick at that. I mean, I get it, and they seem likable, but having them in the top 5 to me is just an insult and a disgrace. I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, God.
I mixed up, okay? I meant to put him a little bit later.
I think we meant to put him at like number 6, and then Lunkers at 5 and Blacktip H at 4. So if that makes anybody feel better.
That's kind of where we meant to be at.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got a thing for Australian dudes.
You do.
Man.
You've always have. That's true. And let's just be fair. When you do a top 10 list like this, like the 10 through 3 could be any order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the same thing with like the GOATs of a sport.
Right.
You know what I mean? Normally the top 3 kind of, or maybe the top 5 separates themselves, but the rest of the list you could put people wherever because it's just, you could put Lunkers higher, obviously. You could put Blacktip wherever. You know, Bama Bass could be a little higher than he was. There's those honorable mentions could have been on the list. I mean, you know, it's just whatever. This is our list. And we're sticking to it. All right, number 3. This is where things are going to start to get crazy. Okay?
Here we go.
Because there's some heavy hitters on the list, and there's a heavy hitter or 2 that are not going to make the list. And I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it, but we're going to explain. At number 3, one rod, one reel fishing.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3.
All right,
top 3.
Tell me, I agree with him being in the top 3, but why 3rd?
Let me run down my case, okay? I hate to keep going to the criteria, but that's the only fair way to do a list like this. You have to come up with criteria, and you got to do your best to stick with the criteria. Now, whether you're missing some or not, that's on you. But staying power, has anybody been on YouTube longer than one rod in the fishing space? Been on there longer?
I don't think so.
I don't know either. Now, I know he's done a disappearing act or 2 the last couple years. He was having some life issues. It happens to the best of us, but he's back now, seems like.
Yeah, he can come back.
and he can come back. He has that kind of power. His influence, I feel like, was massive. Even though he missed out on becoming an OG member of the Guggen Squad, because he was part of that too. A lot of people forget.
Have any of the other Guggens trended before on the trending page?
I don't think so. And that man has trended like 10 times.
Right.
Maybe more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he drops a video out of nowhere, it just seems like it's on the trending list.
That's a trending son of a
Exactly.
gun.
So his influence is massive. His likability, I feel like, is really high because of the style of fishing he does. He's a pond hopper. He's a bank fisherman. Super simple. I mean, hence his name, One Rod, One Reel. It's like you grab a rod, you got a backpack, got a couple tackle boxes, and you're just walking creeks or you're walking ponds. And that is so relatable. And what's one thing I've always said about One Rod is he got more out of less, meaning he filmed with his phone, and he still does, and a GoPro. Like, he's not using $5,000 vlog cameras. He's not using a cameraman and an editor. It's like he does all this himself, and he's gotten more out of anything than I think anybody on this list. He's gotten more out of nothing than anybody on this list.
Yeah.
He's done more with less than anybody on this list. I mean, he's collabed with everybody. He's done it all. He's
Except for me.
Except for you, but that's on his list now for sure. I haven't collabed with him either.
Have you not?
Well, not on my channel. I've been in many YouTube. Guggen, what are you doing over there? You're really throwing me off with
the stools
your
are
movements.
just penetrating.
Well, this shot's going to be squigged up now because it was for when you got to crouch down.
I'll crouch.
Oh, yeah, so I mean, One Rod is just, I think he's one of the most influential fishermen ever. I just leave the statement at that. I agree. Whether you like him or not, whether he's disappeared before, we already know all that. He's detailed all that before. But I think even with, if the disappearing acts had not happened, he might be number one on this list.
Very true.
That's really the only knock against him, is that the consistency hasn't always been there.
Very true.
So, even still to fall to number 3, that's saying a lot, that 100%. You only fell to number 3. But he could have easily, to me, been number 1 on this list, and at different points in the YouTube fishing world, he probably has been number 1 before.
Yep.
But the list is ever changing. The list changes every day. It can change, because people's situations and their content changes. So that is my number 3. Do you have number 2 for us, buddy?
I got one. I got one who I think was up there with One Rod, almost equal with One Rod.
I think I know who you're. I think I know where this is going.
Coming from the South Florida boys.
A little controversial as well, I think.
Catch 'em all bassin'.
Catch 'em all bassin'?
Catch 'em all fishing.
I was like, wait, do you really think that's his name?
No, just playing around.
Yeah, so Catch 'em all Zach.
Would you agree with that?
Okay. This is a tougher one to break down for me, but I like Zach. We've talked many times. We've collabed together, but you put him at number 2. So I want you to start, and then I'll jump in as needed, because I agree with you and I disagree with you, but I agree with you too.
Here's what I'll say about Catch 'em all. He's not number 1. I have a number 1 in my head right now.
I don't think he's number 1 either. I don't think, as popular as he ever was, I don't think he was ever the number 1 fishing channel according to our criteria.
I know number 1 in my heart right now.
And I agree. I think a lot of people are going to agree with us on this.
Yes, but putting him up there, number 2, I feel like he was popping off with viral views early.
He was. I think within the first year. Yeah. Which is really early on a channel.
Millions.
Of course, he had a big Instagram following before.
Okay.
But he transitioned from Instagram to YouTube.
And he killed it, and he's just so charismatic. Like, put a camera, he talks, does something crazy. So much. He uses everything around him. He did really good.
Yeah. He's got a hell of a crew too.
Yeah.
There was like a crew dynamic popping off when he was but he was always the top of that crew. And that crew includes a lot of people with millions of subscribers.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got freaking Raw Fishing.
Yep.
You've got those could have been honorable mentions too, by the way. This whole South Florida crew is an honorable mention.
Yep.
Raw Fishing, Monster Mike Fishing, Paul Cufaro, who was never really a fisherman, but he was around fish.
Aquariums.
But all those guys today are like still killing the game.
Yeah, crushing.
Here's what I always think of when I think about Catch 'em all. I think about the Guggen Squad, right?
Okay.
Forming, becoming a force on YouTube, right? And right after that, it's almost like the South Florida crew was born out of that. Like the Guggen Squad came about and existed, and it needed like a counterbalance. It needed a.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. So then Catch 'Em All, Monster, everybody I just said, they all started. They didn't collaborate that much, but they were all in the same region, and their content was kind of like similar because of their region. And they started to ascend at almost the same pace,
really,
as the Guggen Squad. And of course, the beef between Catch 'Em All and Perrick and Lawson Lindsay and the squad, that's well documented. We don't need to get into that.
No,
but
that ain't it.
But I just do think though that we needed that on YouTube. We needed that other angle. You know, like it was all about Guggen Squad, and that South Florida crew came up, and it was just like, man, these dudes are freaking crazy. Like they catch all kinds of fish. They're entertaining.
They're wilding,
They're
dude.
charismatic, energetic all the time.
They'll call you out of the blue and want to box you.
Right. Just call you and want to just beat your ass. And
should we bleep that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. You always be saying some shit that just derails my fucking brain.
I mean, that's my call, dude. I like keeping it light.
The man does have some haters. There's no doubt about that. I think his likability would be lower than some people.
Yeah.
But like that's just like an overall likability. You know, a lot of people like him, but he's got a lot of haters because he's been accused of like faking some of his videos. And there's clickbait issues. I mean, everybody does that to an extent on YouTube. Everybody clickbaits a little bit. Some people clickbait a lot more. Yep. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of things there, but I think his influence was massive. His meteoric rise, he just rose so fast, and he's still doing it today. So to me, it would be hard to leave him out of the top 5. He may be a hair high. Putting him in front of One Rod, that's like a flip of a coin. But once again, One Rod hasn't been that consistent. Yep. That's what killed him. So, and once again, putting him in front of Lunkers, I don't know. This whole list could be open to just be chopped up. Yeah. I mean,
but number one.
I think number one is going to be where a lot of people come together. And then so after we announce number one, there's going to be some obvious, and a lot of you are going through your little mental checklist, and you're like, okay, we've got way too many people left, and there's only one slot. So number one, when you hear number one, don't freak out, okay? Just let us explain, then let us explain why we omitted certain obvious choices. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
You do it. I agree with you 100%. Okay. I'm standing with you.
So we actually did put quite a bit of thought in who was going to be number one, because obviously that's why you guys are here right now, is to know who number one is. So, and there was a few options. There's some names that have not been called yet today. So I just feel like everybody's going to be pissed. No, I don't think people will be pissed about number one. They'll just be pissed about who's omitted.
Right.
Number one.
Let me hear it.
John B.
There it is, folks.
Got to be number one. I'm sorry. Here's why. Because the criteria we chose, he is number one, he is like near the top, or not, if not at the top of all these criteria.
Yep.
Saying power, he's been there forever.
Yep.
Been there as long as anybody, since he was a freaking kid playing guitar on his channel.
Staring in that camera.
Just staring at his camera, talking about crankbaits or something. I don't even know what that song was about, but his influence was incredibly massive, not just in the Guggen Squad realm, but just make people love fishing.
Nope.
And make people get excited about watching fishing videos. He was the number one video editor for a long time. I don't know if he still is, but there was like a 3-4 year period where his nickname was B-Roll, John B-Roll, because he was just the stuff he shot, the way he edited video was not matched by anybody. Now, like I said, now people have like people they hire that do this, and
I don't think anybody will replicate that Never Stop tours.
The Never Stop tours were huge. He's been everywhere. He's caught every foreign fish that can be caught.
That Red Sea series.
Red Sea.
That's Netflix, dude. That's
oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. The short movies that he's produced on his channel.
They're so
the Devil River movie.
Dude,
he's done so much in the space. We're probably forgetting things that he's done he's been a part of some really iconic moments. I mean,
everybody in the space inspires people, I want to say, but I feel like John has inspired everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And his likability through the roof.
Yeah.
Find me a John B. hater. Just find me a person who hates John.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a tough one, man.
That is tough.
You could find somebody who hates Catch 'Em All. You could find somebody who hates Lunkers, even One Rod.
Yeah.
You're not finding you're not finding a lot of people that hate John.
Right.
I mean, the man just, he goes about his business. I've been fortunate enough to spend a lot of time around him personally. Of course, that's not a part of this list, but personally, awesome guy to hang out with, drink a beer with, and fish with, because he just loves to freaking fish.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so who was omitted there, buddy? Who was the number one name that got omitted from this list that we are going to catch so much heat for?
Probably the biggest outdoor YouTube channel to ever exist.
Which is?
My man Flair.
Yeah. Okay. So Flair is on our list. He's right there. I wrote his name down. Here's the thing. We did not include him on the list because he's not a fishing channel anymore. Right?
I couldn't hear you over the mound of dislikes we just received.
Okay. Hey, correct me when I say something that's not true. He checks a lot of the boxes. He was there in the beginning. You know, he was a big-time fisherman. He was as influential as anybody.
Yep.
But he never really got hella cachet or like hella views until he left the fishing space, right?
Yep.
Now, you know, aside from some videos went really viral and some videos were really big, and because at that time bass fishing was just huge. It was growing so fast. But he kind of went a different way with his farm and with vlogging and hunting and trapping, and I mean, we love that stuff. That's amazing. But like we said about Lunkers, if this was a best outdoors YouTube channel,
Flair's number one.
Flair might be number one.
For a fact, he is.
Yeah, he probably is. He might be, you know. But this was a fishing list, and let's just be honest, Flair has kind of, and this is nothing against him, I'm just stating a fact. He just doesn't fish as much as he used to.
Yeah.
He still will. He's still got the backyard pond. He'll do some catfishing, catch and cooks. And come springtime, he'll try to catch a couple big bass out of there off bed like he did last year.
Yep.
But go to his channel right now and find me. Look at his last 10 videos. And how many of them were fishing videos? Maybe one?
Yeah.
Maybe two?
Like running jugs and...
Right, exactly, which is, you know, fishing. But it's like, when was the last time a rod and reel was in his hand? You know what I mean? Like for 5 videos in a row. It just... So because of that, we had to omit him. And we didn't want to give him as honorable mention because we didn't want to spoil the fact that he wasn't on the list. But that was a huge honorable mention. I mean, Flair, we love you, buddy. We love banjo. We love the whole thing going on with the farm. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's getting ready to have a baby. I mean, nothing but good things to say about Flair Daddy. But we have to be fair here. Yep. When you're going to make a list, you got to go with your gut and you got to be fair. You can't play favorites. And because he's getting more views than anybody we put on this list, except for maybe like, you say Youngbloods get like millions and stuff, right?
Not. They've kind of died off. They're getting a couple 100,000.
Right. So he's probably outviewing everybody on this 100%, list.
Dude.
But they're not fishing views for the most part. So it's just hard to put him up there. We were tempted to still put him on the list. We just didn't feel like it would be fair because we would have had to kick off like Bama Bass or somebody who's been fishing from day one on. And it just felt unfair to kick somebody else off the list just to get Flair in there because we love Flair.
Top 10 fishing. Keep that in mind.
Fishing YouTube channels. That's right. That's what we do. That's the space that we're in. That's the field that we're obsessed with. So we had to be fair.
Yep.
And I feel like just a piece of garbage right now.
Yeah, you're fired for sure.
Because got a lot of Flair fans on this channel, and I'm one of them, man. I love Flair. I visited him last summer to the farm, filmed some dope content.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just what am I missing here, man? Tell me I'm crazy.
I agree. It's just the thing about like John putting him number one is he's stuck with fishing the entire way.
He's never deviated once.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever like hunted on his channel. I don't think he's ever like trapped on his channel, or maybe he has. We could be wrong. There could be one or two here and there, but
yeah, he's put out like a couple of vids working on his main property, I think.
Okay, that's true. So some property vlogging, but very little.
Just when fishing sucks.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Up north when you probably can't fish when it's just snow and stuff.
8 foot of ice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he does ice fishing. It's just, oh man, just does so much in the fishing realm. He had to be number one. I think One Rod would make a case if he was more consistent.
Yep.
I think, you know, Lunkers, I don't know. I could go right back to this list and just break it all down again. I won't. I want to hear what you guys think. That's really what we want to know now. There were some other channels that we didn't mention either that were, you know, like we mentioned Norm. You know, we love Norm.
Yeah.
And you know, in a year or two, we could put him on this list. I don't think I would put myself on this list. Me and you talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
I think being objectively, I'm outside the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think I might be knocking on the door, but I don't think I'm better than any of these guys, for sure.
I feel that.
So, you know, you could be on your way one day, you know? I mean, it's
top 50, baby. I'm in
coming
there.
in hot, baby. Hey, if we made a
49.
top 50 list, you'd definitely be in there.
You think so?
Oh, 1,000%.
I'll take
you
that.
You might be top 25, dude. You're kind of coming on pretty strong right now. You might be top 25.
We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens.
Wow, man. I just feel like minds are blown, and there's some other, you know, omissions that we couldn't put everybody on the damn list. You know, it's a list, top 10 list. You can't honorable mention like 20 people. It's like you go with your gut, you know, and that's what we did. So we really want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let us know what your top 10 is. I want to go in the comment section tonight after this pod drops, and I want to see just tons of top 10s, or just roast our top 10s, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just put us at whatever number you think we are.
Yeah, and then rate us. Where would we be? That's a very good point. I'd be interested to see what everybody thinks based on our criteria. That's the thing. You can't just say who you like and who you don't like, because that's not exactly fair. You got to be objective about this as much as you can. But
I don't even care. Just let me know who you like. Who's number one in your book? Daryl,
baby. Get Daryl a channel, and he will be pushing the top 10 list within 1 year.
Pushing it.
Oh my gosh! Is there anything else to say, man? This has been like mentally taxing for me. I feel like
I think we need to go recover. Maybe a little ahi poke.
Ahi pokey for lunch, a little Hawaiian food, and then some dangling some point today with me and you. Dangle with Dev. He didn't make the list, huh?
Oh, rip, buddy. I'm sorry.
He just lost his
portfolio back there,
right.
buddy.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of channels that we didn't mention, and if you're listening to this and we didn't mention you and you know us, you know we love you, but
Yeah.
I feel confident with the names we have. I don't feel 100% confident about the order.
Yeah, I don't either.
But that's something we're just gonna have to live with.
Number one, I'm cool with that.
When I'm good with number one. My biggest beef, I think, with the entire list, we're about to go, I swear. For me, like Ace Videos and Young Bloods, just I don't know how I feel about either one of them being on here.
Yeah, I don't know about Young Bloods.
Young Bloods was really high, but we said we made a mistake. We didn't mean to put them that high. We would put, if we could do it over again, we'd put Lunkers and Black Tip H ahead of Young Bloods.
For sure.
So move them back to number 6. Lunkers would be 5. Black Tip H would be 4. Something like that.
Something
like that. But yeah, guys. Whew. This was fun.
That was fun.
This was fun. We should do this again. We should do this again. So
maybe outdoor version or something.
Yeah, maybe a top 10 just straight up outdoors YouTube channel. If this video or if this podcast does really well and you guys really want to see it, we will revamp this in some way.
Or do like the worst.
Oh, the worst. I was just going to say we could do the worst, but that might get us in some serious legal trouble. So we wouldn't be able to actually say their names. We'd just like say something that rhymes with their name.
For sure.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember, if you're on Spotify or Apple, make sure you follow, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, write a review, all that good stuff. It helps out the podcast. Speaking of the podcast, it might be moving to its own channel soon. But
that's right. Frick money, dude. We're doing it for love.
Yeah, that's true. Frick money. Yeah, we'll see how all that goes. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Let us know what your top 10 list is. Let us know how dumb we are for our top 10 list. But
that's right.
By God, we're going to stand by it.
I love you, John B.
Love you, John. Love you, everybody. Sorry, I ranked some of you really low.
Love you, Flair.
Love you, Flair.
I love you, Kendrick.
Yeah, really sorry.
Kendrick.
Sorry, Flair.
Call me Kendrick.
Anyways, see you guys next time.